On this railway adventure, Europe's best-kept secret railway and a Swiss birthday party that's over the edge on Switzerland's Rätische Railway. Hi, I'm Bernie Coppell. Just up the tracks, a flying birthday cake and a race up Weisshorn Alp. Join me from Chur to Arosa on railway adventures across Europe. The railway we're about to travel is deserving of the motto inscribed on one of its stations. In English, it would translate, "Where there's a will, there's a way." It's truly an amazing engineering feat and a hidden treasure few have discovered. Our railway adventure originates in the Swiss city of Chur in the canton or state of Graubünden. From Chur, we'll travel to the resort town of Arosa. This remarkable adventure holds little-known and surprising sights. Villages that seem to cling to mountainsides, numerous bridges and viaducts through alpine country, a foot race up Mount Weisshorn, and some unusual festivities surrounding the railway's anniversary, including a daring stunt and a gigantic birthday cake. Stay with us as we travel the Rätische Railway, Europe's best-kept secret railway. All aboard for the Secret Summit Express.
Our railway adventure will take us through magnificent alpine scenery in the canton or state of Graubünden, which lies in the southeast corner of Switzerland. The canton borders Austria to the west, Italy to the south, and is world famous for its ski resorts. We'll start in the capital of Graubünden, Chur, and head to the mountain resort of Arosa, which is only an hour away by train. The Rätische Bahn, also known as the RHB Railway, is a sprawling network of railways that serve the small mountain villages and visitors to the area. Swiss Federal Railway service ends in Chur. All passengers and freight are transferred to the Rätische Bahn for their trip into the mountains. The railway from Chur to Arosa is a wonderful train trip not even many Europeans know about. This hidden treasure begins modestly in the square outside the station and is separated from the main Rätische Bahn system because its electrical system is on a different current than the rest of the RHB railway. The Arosa line was opened in December 1914 and incorporated into the Rätische Bahn system January of 1942. As we leave the square, our train climbs up the Engadinastrasse to reach the Plesser River by the gates of the ancient town dating back to Roman times. There are quiet old squares and narrow streets within the ancient walls, and life in the old quarter runs at a leisurely pace, even though the modern world with the latest shops and busy commerce is never far away. A sleek postal bus passes by and shares the street with our train today. Our bright red train on the city streets has been a familiar sight for over 75 years. We roll gently out of Chur toward Arosa in the hot summer sunshine and travel along the river. On the outskirts of town, the road runs along a cantilevered or extension bridge that gives cars and trains enough space to follow the same path. Trains regularly travel through here, going to or from Arosa, and pass by Sand, the main depot. There is a delightful wooden station building at the Lune Castile Depot over 3,000 feet above sea level. And like so many buildings on this line, it's all decked out in flowers through the summer. Passengers can stop over at Lune Castile and visit the small village which clings to the steep mountainsides of the valley. All the station depots on this line are also ornately decorated and bear a motto. Here in Lune Castile, it translates to, "Where there's a will, there's a way." The heavy log construction of the buildings stand up to even the toughest alpine winters. You'll see breathtaking mountain views in every direction throughout our entire trip to Arosa. The next section of the railway will bring us to the St. Peter Molina station and takes us within sight of the distant peaks that surround Arosa. This was a very difficult railroad to construct. The first section of the route seems to rest precariously on the side of a deep gorge. The tracks take us through rock shelters, tunnels, and bridges. The unstable nature of the ground in this area made tunneling extremely difficult, and many of the viaducts or bridges were constantly shifting during early construction. Today, the railway is an outstanding example of Swiss engineering. What do 940 feet of concrete and a flying birthday cake have in common? Find out when Railway Adventures continues. Our railway adventure continues on Switzerland's Rätische Railway to the resort of Arosa. Most of the engines in service on the RHB Railway were built in 1957 and 1958 and are called power cars. The entire railway system in Switzerland is electrified. As we leave the St. Peter Molina station, the train takes us to Peist, climbing to nearly 4,100 feet above sea level. The beautiful little village of Peist clings to the side of a steep mountain. Many trains offer comfortable first and second class accommodations, as well as baggage compartments for belongings. As our train winds its way up to the Grundjatobel Bridge, the mountain views get more spectacular with every turn. Langvies Station is just about 2 miles away and nearly 4,500 feet above sea level. Just past the station, we'll see one of the most famous and most photographed features of the RHB Railway, the Langvies Bridge. The double track of the station makes a busy passing place for trains going and returning from Arosa. Langvies is a perfect place to take a moment, sit, relax, and enjoy the view as the trains go by. We'll leave the station for our ride to Arosa. The train swings south, heading toward the magnificent Langvies Bridge, truly an engineering marvel. The open panorama cars should give us quite a thrill when we cross the bridge. When it was built in 1913, the bridge contained the longest reinforced concrete span in the world. The 940-foot-long bridge has a 315-foot center span and sits almost 205 feet above the river. As our train continues to climb through the valley, we pass traditional homes and farms carved into the side of the foothills. The older power cars still pulling trains are paired up in double-headed arrangements or back-to-back. Here we can see number 32, built in 1908, pulling a fully loaded train with ease. On the return trip to Langby Station, just a short distance down the track, we're about to see a most unusual sight. One of the many festivities surrounding the railway's anniversary, and this one is just a little over the edge. The director of the Arosa tourist office is about to hang from the Langby's Bridge, carrying the banner of Arosa and a replica of the birthday cake to celebrate the anniversary of the railway. As preparations are being made for the event, regular train service to Arosa and Chur will continue across the narrow bridge. Stay with us for what may be Europe's best-kept secret train adventure when Railway Adventures returns. Our railway adventure on the RHB continues, and it's back to the Langby Railway Bridge to witness this daring event commemorating the Swiss Rätische Railway's 100 years of service. The banner of Arosa and a replica cake sway in the breeze from 203 feet above the river. Leaving Langby, our train twists and turns through the trees, heading deeper into the Swiss Alps. The tree line etched across the mountains in the distance indicates just how high our adventure has taken us. Forever twisting and turning, the railway heads towards another stop on our trip. Passing through wilderness areas of mountains and thick forests, our train enters a serene opening between the mountains. Litzrudi is almost 5,000 feet above sea level, and it's set in beautiful surroundings that offer a wide variety of relaxing and pleasant activities. Lakes mirror the distant trains on their approach to Arosa, and the scenery is absolutely breathtaking. Mountains tower over the resort beaches of Arosa, where sunbathers hardly notice the train full of passengers rolling by. On the outskirts of this village, we enter a short tunnel under a grassy knoll. Our train appears out of a tunnel and arrives at the station by the lake just 1 hour after leaving Chur. The lake at Arosa is one of the main attractions of this beautiful town and draws visitors from all around. Outside the station, horse-drawn taxis wait to bring visitors to their hotels. And for those with some extra energy, there's a race to the summit of the Wieshorn. But mostly visitors come here to relax, and on this day, enjoy the festivities and entertainment commemorating the 75th anniversary of the Chur-Arosa rail line and 100 years of the RHB railway. It's a day for wearing traditional national costumes, but the highlight of the celebration is the arrival of this enormous cake topped by a replica of an early RHB steam locomotive. There should be enough cake for the officials, dignitaries, and everyone on our train. There's more than one way to climb a mountain when Railway Adventures returns. We're just in time in our railway adventure to enjoy the festivities in Switzerland's beautiful resort town of Arosa. Arriving on the RHB railway, the giant cake commemorates the railway's anniversary. Crowds gather for their piece of the cake. Only an hour by train from the bustling capital city of Chur. This is the life. Ever present and towering above the town and lakes in the area is the summit of the Wieshorn. If you don't feel energetic enough to run up the Wieshorn, the easy way to the top is by cable car, which climbs from behind the train station to 8,700 feet above sea level. From the summit, our entire adventure from Chur to Arosa is laid out at our feet. If you look carefully, you can also see the other routes of the RHB slicing through the valley to the left and right, taking passengers to the four corners of Graubünden and beyond into Italy and Austria. This one-hour railway adventure from Chur to Arosa may be Europe's best-kept secret.
The Rete Shaban Railway to Arosa is a secret we couldn't resist telling.